Hey everybody, this is Dan. Welcome back to another edition of Solutions for the Firearm Industry. Uh, Today we're going to talk through episode 10, which is corrections. So Form 4, Form 1s, what happens if you get a correction request or if you catch an error on your form before it is actioned by the ATF. And we're going to talk through those pieces. If you're new to us, check out our previous versions. We've got a whole bunch of issues on how to become an SOT, the e-forms process, Form 4 submittal process, like and share so you get notified of when new ones come out. And with that, we'll get into it. So e-forms website here, we're looking for these type letters, right? So that half page thing from the ATF with salmon, orangish type cover letter, that's the approved paper form fours, or we're looking for the digital version of it to come in. But what happens if we don't? The ATF will do one of two things here. They're going to send you an email that looks like this. It's going to say that you have 72 hours to correct the issue, and they try to give you a little bit of feedback inside of it. This one, for example, says refers to the responsible person questionnaire as missing or incomplete. Now, they don't give us all the information as to what it could be. That's one thing I wish they would do a little bit better is to say, hey, this is what the error actually is. Pretty much to say that it's something wrong with the RPQ in this case. Now, to take a step back, if you're doing paper form fours, you're actually going to get a physical copy and a highlighted issue of the form in the mail back to you. Instead of coming in these nice half page envelopes, those correction letters will come in a normal letter size envelope, and then open that thing up, read through what's going on. Typically, the examiner will have highlighted something and or annotated that this is the issue, and then you have to mail that back to them. Digital e-form side of stuff, you're going to get this. And that's why you have to kind of make sure that the email address you have on file is one that you look at. So you get the correction notification piece here. So this clearly says 72 hours to fix it. And we're going to talk through how we go about that. So go back to eForms. I'm going to log in. And then on the left-hand side, once this loads up, there will be a submitted and in process tab. So we click on that. And while that's loading, and you can, this is almost always going to happen. It's going to spin for somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds. While you're waiting for it to load, go to the podcast, hit like and share. That way you can stay current with the new episodes as we put them out. But this will load. Then it's going to pop up a sub menu on the left hand side. So Form 4. So I click on Form 4 and then it'll load my Form 4s. Because I have client data and this is actually a live system, I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to show you the submittal list here. So it's going to pop up is once you get the Form 4 piece up, it's going to, and click on that, it's going to load your listing of all your active Form 4s that you have on it. You need to look and reference the document number that will be on the correction email as well. It'll reference an application or a document number. Make sure you cross-reference that. If you're using internal control numbers that I strongly recommend, usually that will have last name and serial number in it, so you can make sure you're referencing the appropriate form. But you can go to that document, and if you look at the image on the screen here on the right-hand side, you'll see an eyeball piece. That will be how you can go into the correction. Now, a couple pieces here. If you notice an issue on the form after you submit it, if it was done during the train stop pieces, not in electronic documents, there's really nothing you can do except withdraw it. So if you have the trust name incorrect, if you spelled the individual's name incorrectly, wrong social security number, etc. If you notice an error on that piece of it, there's really no way to correct it. The ATF said that they're going to offer a correction module to us, but that hasn't come through. And that was back in January, February timeframe. They say they're working on it. They say they plan to work on it, but we haven't seen any transaction with that. And from how we understand it, the only option that the examiner really has on e-forms is for a couple very select few cases, you can issue that correction piece or deny. There's no other method to request a correction from the submitter. It's really a deny it, or on a couple few instances we can change it, and really that's going to come on trusts. So anyway, uh, we have our list of forms that are submitted pending. Right hand side, the eyeball piece, you go into the form, and then you want to navigate to, on the train stops, electronic documents. I have that up on here as well. On the train stops, you can see clicked on the electronic document piece. It'll show the documents that we have loaded and the document IDs and types, and as well as the name of it. So many times, the two pieces you're going to get the corrections for, really on a trust, are the responsible person questionnaire, the 5320.23, or on the trust document itself. And they will ask you for a revised RPQ or a accurate RPQ to be uploaded. And we would simply go and click on the choose file. I'd browse for that updated RPQ. I would say the document type would be a corporation and a trust other document, and I would name it revised or updated RPQ for my client name type piece, and upload that up and in. The only types of documents that you can put into electronic documents are JPEGs, so photos, so you could reload a client photo, and PDFs. There is no way to load a fingerprint file in EFT. They will not accept a PDF of a fingerprint file. So if you forget to add the EFT while you're building the application, your only recourse is to either mail in the cards or withdraw the application and resubmit it. So on electronic documents here, it is PDFs or JPEGs, so you can reload a client photo if you happen to grab the wrong photo. Again, you should clearly in the description piece on the left-hand side, rename it to updated photo, or the PDFs specifically for RPQ, responsible person questionnaires, or the trust documents, and those can be updated. And again, many times the errors that we see, you don't have it's an incomplete name on the trust document, or it is the wrong serial number. Somebody buys 2 or 3 items and they're going into a trust, and in the speed and hustle, they grab the incorrect RPQ. That will trigger this type of correction email. And this is actually what this case was. This is actually from a client asked me to help figure out what was going on. It says this RPQ is missing or incomplete, and the issue actually was they grabbed the wrong serial number for that transaction. The gentleman had bought, or the trust had bought 2 or 3 items, and they had uploaded the incorrect RPQ for that transaction. So, simple fix: upload the correct RPQ, rename it as updated RPQ, and then email back to this NFA error resolution email and say, for transaction X, documents have been updated, please proceed. And typically this will come back then relatively quickly, because they're at the final stages of the approval process when they get these error corrections. And then you should get one of these emails here that would say the stamp has been approved. So quick rundown recap. If you're doing paper forms, you will actually get a paper correction request, and there's more things that can be allowed or tolerated for errors on the paper forms, but they still take way longer. And that you'll actually get a correction request from the examiner with part of the form that needs to be updated and corrected and mailed back to the ATF. And then on e-forms, really all you're going to see the error corrections is you could the client photo or the customer photo, as well as on the trust side of stuff, the RPQ or the trust document themselves if you happen to upload the incorrect version of the trust. Those are really the only error corrections. Anything else pretty much has to be withdrawn and resubmitted. And to withdraw it, you go back to that submitted and in process piece, and instead of the eyeball and to view it, you'd actually hit delete on there, and that will withdraw the form. Typically, the serial number will come back in about 3 to 5 business days back into your inventory, and then the refund, the $200 refund, will come back to the credit card that was charged a day or two after the serial number shows up. So with that, that's all I have for today's episode. Simple highlight on how the correction process works for the ATF. Again, they are supposedly working on a more robust correction piece, but today those are really the only options that we have to deal with. So if you like what you saw and like what you're hearing from us, go check out our Spotify or YouTube channel and hit that like and subscribe and the alert piece to be notified of it. Share it with your friends, if anybody else that might be able to use it. Our website is petersonfarmsusa.com. That's our retail side, and you can check out our 2 main products that we have: Cerberus Live Scan, which allow us for EFT and the Form 4 process digital to help and ease and speed that piece up, and then Merlin, which is our warehouse and distribution search tool. And we currently have approximately 12 data feeds that we're pulling from, and we can order from 8 of them. And I have a meeting with a company that is named after a bird later on today to see if we can get them in. And another large distributor is supposed to be sending me some pieces here as well to work on that. So hoping to add some more pieces to Merlin to make it even more useful. But those are the ones we have working right now. Again, appreciate your time. If you have any feedback or anything, any topics that you'd like to see on this podcast, please reach out. Happy to help.